Hey everyone! Hi, it's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue. And my dog's welcoming you as always. I have some really exciting news. I had one of those light dawns on Marblehead. That's a local expression. We have a city right on the water, and we're on the East Coast, so the light comes up, and its first break here is Marblehead. And one of the things that my French nun high school teacher used to say when somebody got something was, aha, light dawns on Marblehead. I always love that saying. Sister ML, I love that woman. So I had a light dawns on Marblehead moment yesterday when I was thinking about all of these wonderful cards that I had made. Yesterday I put together a video that was asking for some feedback, because part of it was I was having such a hard time with certain files that I wanted to recreate on the Joy. And it seemed to me like, and these are some of the ones that I was particularly worried about today, yesterday, is these are small. So I was like, why can't I recreate these on the Joy? And I was having such a hard time. I was going to have to, I was just going to be like, I got to go back to my maker because they were too wide. Remember, there's a limitation with the Joy. It's 4 1/4 inches across one way. And so I was looking at these going, okay, so I know that these consist of a bunch of pieces, but none of the pieces were 4 1/4 inches tall. So I couldn't understand why I was having this problem. Now this is so I'm going to show you what the problem was, and I'm going to show you how to fix it. So if you have you love these things, you have a Joy, and you want to try these projects from independent designers on your Joy. Hello, Christina. Welcome. So you want to try these things on your Joy, but you're like, why am I having problems? Let me show you what the deal is, okay? So first of all, I'm going to get closer to my laptop so you can really get in to see this, okay? So I'm going to start, I think I have to save this first, but I'm going to start a new canvas because I want to show you. Now, normally, when you have something like this, now let's just look at the bunny one, okay? So when you have something like this, it has all these individual pieces, right? And you can look at them and you can say, oh, okay, this is 7.8 inches wide, but tall, it's probably only like 3 or 4 inches tall. So this should work, right? But what I noticed is when the designer, in this case it's Mary from SVG Cuts. So in this case, Mary, what she does is that she puts all of her colors together. So what ends up happening is the image, and this one here is a really good example. This is all cut out from white. Okay. Unfortunately, this works for 12 by 12 inch sheet of paper, which I'm used to cutting on, right? But it does not work for the Joy because when you drag in this image, it comes in as all one piece. So then you have to go through the process of breaking it all apart, and it is maddening. I tried it myself. Good morning, Penny. Hi, Tom. Yes, so good to see you too, Penny. Good morning. So it's all one piece. And so it was really maddening. I'm like, I had to duplicate it. And I went through this whole process and it was so frustrating, right? So what I started thinking is like, oh, well, I guess I just cannot do these SVG cut designs on the Joy, which was getting me sort of depressed because I love my Joy and I really love showing you all these things about the Joy. So let me show you. So when you buy something like this, now not all images, not all designers are going to, all their designs are going to be able to do this. So know that. And there are some that you might have to make slight adjustments to. Like, for example, this one here, you do need to make a slight adjustment to. And then the envelopes will not work on these because envelopes are really, really big. So you can't do the envelopes. So, but let me show you what I found out yesterday. So when you are pulling in an image, I'm going to get real close so you can see. When you're pulling in an image, that's a downloaded file. Okay, so here are my downloads, and you'll notice here on the downloads, I've got this Easter box cards, right? And I hope you can see that. Let me get closer, right? So Easter box cards, and you see here, there's the SVG files, and each of the SVG files, because there's 5 of them in this kit. So there's this Easter Sunday, that's this one, there's a bunny, there's a chick, an Easter egg, and an egg carton, which I'm going to show you how to put together today, okay? So there's 5 here, okay? So when you look at these SVGs, normally what I would tell you to do is to, when you open up each, so for the Easter Sunday box card, you would pull in each of these SVGs. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Including the envelope, which I'm going to tell you right now, envelopes will not work on the Joy. Oh, my dogs are going crazy today. Sorry. So normally you would pull all of these in, and I'm going to show you. This one here is the white one that I just mentioned. You see, it's all one image, and that is just not going to work for the Joy because it's just too wide. And so what I started thinking was, to go back to upload, is Mary is a very clever designer, and she always gives you downloads that have extras in it. And I hardly ever check the extras, but it's good to check the extras in this case. So for instance, with the egg carton, which is the one we're going to be doing today, there is this file. So here's all the SVGs, and they're named by, the color or what they are. And normally you'd have to, take and upload all of these. But you go to the extras and you get a couple of things. First, you get solid score lines. So if you wanted to use your scoring stylus or your scoring wheel, say you have a maker, this is where you would go to pick up your SVG, because then you can just change those score lines to solid score lines. And so you can use your scoring wheel, you can use your scoring stylus. But with the Joy, good morning, Maria. Hi, Fiona. So with the Joy, you can't use a scoring stylus, right? So the solid scoring lines, not really that interesting to me, okay? But if you go, let's close up the extra box again. So if you go to extras, so I'm not interested in scoring lines, but then I have this line, entire egg carton box card separated. And then underneath it says entire egg carton box card SVG. So what this is this is going to be this was my aha moment, is that I want this separated one because I don't want, even though she groups them together by colors normally, and that isn't usually a problem, with the Joy, it's a problem. So what you end up doing is you end up going to extras and looking at entire egg carton box cards separated, okay? And then open that and you'll notice, okay, it comes in, it's a really big file, so it shows really small. And then we're going to save it. And let's pull it into our canvas so you can have a look. So when you pull it into your canvas, and my laptop is set up so that it's compatible with the Joy, okay? So immediately you'll notice over here, you get this box, this caution triangle, okay? And so that was like, oh gosh, I really don't want that. So what I did was I ungrouped the entire thing over here. Oop, I might be having a little disconnect problem. Everybody's on the system. So okay, I ungrouped it and I took the envelope out. It's just way too big. It would never cut on the Joy. All right. I'm having poor wireless this morning. I so apologize. Honestly, I give these away and I don't even put them in an envelope, so it doesn't even matter. So, but when you ungroup it all and get rid of the envelopes, you notice that each piece moves independently. See? So, this is awesome because what that means is that I can move things around on the on my mat, and then you'll notice over here that boom, I no longer have that caution thing. One is because I got rid of the envelope, and the second one is I imported this file and I did it separated, not individual, but I went to that extra folder and got it separated. Now again, caution you, not all designers are like Mary from SVG Cuts, and I will put the link to this project in the description of this video after I'm done, so look for that. And not all of them are that way, but I remembered when I was doing this that, okay, so this is something that Mary always does, and I just never found a need for it. But she writes here, the extras folders also contain each project saved as a single file, as well as single files that contain all the project shapes saved separately or broken apart. That was my aha. So here I am. I have all of these things, and now there's one step you have to do before you can cut it, and that is you have to attach these score lines. Remember, the designers don't allow for that. Good morning, Mary Lou. The designers aren't able to do score lines. That's why that if you want to do this on a Maker or an Explorer, that's why you would bring in the solid score lines, okay? But on the Joy, we can't do scoring. So this works in our favor, but we do need to attach these dotted, they're basically score lines, but they're done with a dotted cut. But we need to make sure we attach them all, so we go to each one that has that dotted cut, and we do attach. And then, once we do that, we can go ahead and start cutting this out. Now, I cut out one ahead of time so I could save a little bit of your time this morning, but I want to show you how it looks when you go to cut it on the Joy. Again, when you cut it on the Joy, you're always going to be given that request of which kind of mat, or do you not want a mat, that sort of thing. Remember, without a mat is only for Cricut Smart materials, okay? So we want on a mat. This is not a card. It's not a pre-folded card. So we're going to choose on mat. And you'll notice that over here on the left-hand side, everything starts to load by color, just like we're used to. And look, this automatically was kind of big, and my machine This I noted this morning. My machine automatically decided that I needed to have a long mat for this. And here is another one that needed to have the long mat. Now, one of the things I'm doing here is I'm moving these over, and I'll tell you why. I'm using paper, scrap paper, okay? And I'm going to move this out of the way. All of my scrapper friends, you're going to love this. Okay, what about all this scrap paper that we all save, that we all keep? You know, this is a cut, right? And I'm like, this could be good. And so what do we normally do is we take our scissors and we chop off that piece and we save this little scrap. And unfortunately, you know, I end up with, because I cut so much with 12 by 12 paper, I end up with all of these scrap pieces, and sometimes they're really big, sometimes they're small, and I can justify throwing it away. But look, I'm from New England, and we save everything. I am like the hoarding capital of the world over here. You know, it's just the way I was brought up, very frugal person, and I do not like to waste. It was just ingrained in me as a child. So all of these scraps, I keep them. Now, at the end of the year, usually what I do is I go through and I just donate them. I sort them and I donate them to the schools. But right now we're having a pandemic, so it's like I have a lot of scraps left over. All of these scraps, right? Some of them are 4 inches because I cut them for the Joy, and some of them are these little cut pieces. This was from a card that I didn't use. So I usually just save them. This is perfect for the Joy, especially if you're someone who loves specialty papers. Someone asked me yesterday what papers I use, the pattern paper, and I do use a lot of Echo Park, which is from Lori Whitlock. It's called Echo Park Paper Company. The thing about it is, again, being a hoardy kind of a person, I hate to use it. That's sort of a problem that I think a lot of people, yeah. Maria's saying this. Okay, all of you paper hoarders out there, you need to come forward and own it, because I'm owning it today on live video, okay? So I keep all these little pieces. They might come in handy, you never know. And I actually have several boxes under my desk that I put different things. I put paper scraps, I put vinyl scraps, I put pattern paper scraps in there, and literally I sort them. I used to like file them all and everything. Now I just have the box system. But you know, you end up with all this and it feels wasteful just to throw it away. Even if you can recycle it, it feels wasteful. So why not use it? And you can either use the scissors, or you can use your cutter. I use the cutter, and when I have a 12 by 12 sheet of paper and I don't want to use it all, I will cut a column of it. So like for the Joy, I'll cut something like 4 1/4, sometimes 4 1/2 inches. Like for instance, with this one, I cut, it was a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, and I cut it into 3 strips, right? And there won't be even like, sometimes you're going to need that 4 1/4 inch width, and sometimes you can get away with like 4. So you can also do this to your regular paper, like your 8 1/2 by 11 paper that you get from Michael's or wherever you get your cardstock from, or your solids, which you can, you know, cut into columns like this of paper. They're 12 inches long, the 12 by 12. The 8 1/2 by 11, you have to wonder about the length on whatever your mat is going to be. But for the most part, these things will cut out with the Joy and will be frugally saving your paper. Isn't that wonderful? So here we're going to put together one of them. I'm supposed to be working. Okay, shh. I'll keep my voice down, Charlene. I'm just so excited about this. It's so exciting to me that I found, you know, for me, I found like a use for all of those scraps. Now I'm going to be scrapping. I'm going to pull out those boxes of craft scraps, and I'm going to be scrapping with my Cricut Joy. So for all those people who thought, oh, the Joy's not for me, if you're like me and you like to save scraps and you have a bucket full of them under your, desk or wherever, and you never know what to do with them all, and they look kind of lost on it. Yes, you can use them on a 12 by 12. That's not a problem, but they do sort of, sometimes the little tiny things like this get sort of lost on your mat, don't they? So, I mean, here is an opportunity for you to use the Joy and your scraps and just, basically be frugal. And there's nothing wrong with being frugal, friends. I love being frugal. And so, yes, I'm very excited. Do I use more cardstock or paper? You know what, Charlene, I call it paper. Even though I don't use text weight paper, I always buy and use cardstock because I love a good card that's a solid weight. And so I just have this habit of calling it paper. I don't know, maybe because it's just easier to say, but I call it paper. And then people ask me. So I use cardstock mainly. I use mostly cardstock from Michael's because they sell it at Michael's in a 50 pack that is 8.5 by 11, and for me that's just perfect because I can use it. It makes 2 wonderful A2 cards, and I've told you guys how to do that, right? Where you take the A2 card and you fold it, you cut it the long way, like 5.5 inches. You cut it at the 5.5 inch mark, and then it makes 2 perfect cards, and those 2 perfect cards definitely work in your Joy using the card mat. Now, pattern paper. I used to be I still am a hoarder, but I used to love pattern paper. But then what would happen is I didn't love sorting it all because they usually come in like a kit, which I would buy from Echo Park. I would buy it at scrapbook.com. It's available everywhere, honestly, just not in the craft stores, which is really frustrating. But so for me, I buy the pattern paper in kits, and it would have 15 pieces of double-sided paper, usually around a theme, and then it would also give you a page of stickers, sometimes 2 pages of stickers. And to be honest, I haven't really found a great use for the stickers just yet, but I save them. Of course I save them. So I usually buy those packs, and what ends up happening is, they each year come out with one, like for Easter, they have Celebrate Easter or Happy Easter. They name them differently, and they come out with different patterns, and those all, I just kind of store them all together. But so then when it's Christmas time, I just bring out all the ones that are Christmas related and then work from there. The thing about patterns is that, and it's the same when you're decorating your home or, you're picking out wallpaper. I know a lot of people don't use wallpaper that much, but I actually love wallpaper. And so for me, with wallpaper or with anything designer, it's best to just go easy on the pattern. So, you don't want to overwhelm and turn everything into an 80s house, with chintz everywhere, or, those big flowers. When I first moved into my home here, it's over 100 years old. And the woman that lived here, she was definitely an 80s woman, and there was wallpaper everywhere, and it was that big heavy floral wallpaper. So I remember sitting here when I first moved in and peeling off the wallpaper while I was drinking my morning coffee, because I was like, I can't stand this heavy wallpaper anymore. So we, got rid of it. But I still put in, my own style wallpaper and everything, but it was too much. It was overwhelming, and I know that it was the style way back, but it's just too much. And it's the same thing when you're making cards. One pattern, maybe two, if it's a big file, is enough. Really is. And the rest can be solids. Okay, so that's just my little diatribe about using patterned paper. And you'll notice I'm putting together this adorable Easter egg carton box. This is a box card, and you notice that it has this one has a 3. This one does not have a number, or does it? Yep, 1. So I got 1. This is 2, so this is the handle in the middle, you see? And these 2 are, I cut out with this grass, even though it's going the wrong way. I cut it with the grass because I thought it would look interesting in the background. Because then what we're going to do is take the eggs, and we're going to just put those eggs, let me just show you how it looks. So we put the eggs onto, and we just change out the colors so it looks like we made a bunch of eggs that are colored. Hold on. Can't glue fast enough. Okay, so here's what you do. So you've got these eggs that are colored, and then peeking out are these little pieces of grass. Now this is the 1. Okay, so what I've done is I've assembled the box. That was pretty simple. I folded everywhere on the score lines, and then I just it was 2 pieces, and I put it together. And then I start to decorate the inside pieces by putting these things on there. And what you can do is you can come back and put this stuff here. The glue. Let me talk about the glue in a second, okay, Julie? So here you go ahead and you can put these things on the front. Now, glue. This is 1, so I'm going to show you this. I think most craft glues, first of all, they're all overpriced. Just get that out of the way. Craft glues are so overpriced, and any kind of adhesive, all overpriced. And so you have to buy the stuff on sale. Period. And you also have to buy ones that are refillable, and that's what I like about this glue. You can buy it in a larger quantity and refill. So a lot of people they kind of go, well, I'll just use a glue stick. I don't like glue sticks. The reason I don't like glue sticks is that over time they crack. And what happens is if you have something that you're making and you want to keep it like a little heirloom, and that's what I do is I make these little cards, and I run out of people to send them to. So I make them as decorations. So every holiday I pull out my little cards and use them as decorations in my home. So I want something that's going to last, and frankly, glue sticks just don't last. I have tried probably every glue on the market, including Elmer's and Scotch and everything. Some of them are pretty good. I know like people like Mary at SVG Cuts, I think she uses Scotch brand for paper. But honestly, last year, one of the Cricut employees, when I was out there in the spring, one of the Cricut employees said to me, "Oh, you got to try this glue. It's a game changer." She knows I was always lamenting about glue. And I'm like, "Really?" She's like, "Seriously, Rita, you got to try it." And she says it's not easy to find. Like, they don't have it at Michael's or in the craft stores. You can find it on Amazon. It's called Art Glitter Glue. It's called Art Glitter Glue because it's from the Art Glitter Institute, and you can find their website. It's artglitter.com, and they developed it for glitter, but it works great with paper. And what I also like about it is that they recognize that this is a very small bottle and it's easy to use this bottle, and that's why people would buy it this size, but you use it up really quickly. So they offer it in a large, like an 8 ounces or something. This is 2 ounce. It works really great with your hands and everything. And it's really good glue. But, that being said, and oh, by the way, I found a few places where I could buy it, and not just Amazon, because Amazon does have this. But I always try to support the little guys because, I don't know. Plus, I don't know. I think maybe they're going to start limiting what people can buy, or maybe they already started doing that. But anyway, good morning, Julie. So anyway, Julie, I buy this from a company called createforless.com. Now, granted, their website, good morning, Emmy. Their website's a little odd. It's really hard because they have everything. It's like going into a ginormous Michael's. And frankly, their search engine could use some help. And I'm a big advocate of good search engines because I'm not one of those, I don't want to watch the video. I just want to get in and get my stuff and get out. I'm terrible with that. So good morning, Debbie. Anyway, Crave for Less. If you go in and search for Art Glitter Glue, you'll be prompted with excuse me, with several options. They have this 2 ounce. They have one that is 8 ounces, I think. Yeah, I think it's 8 ounces. They also have a special tip that you can buy. It's awesome if you do a lot of very delicate, detailed work. For instance, if you like to do Anna Griffin cards, perfect for that. So that's the glue I use. That's not to say I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that. It's just what I found to work for me. Works great. Excuse me. It just works really good and I like it. So that's what I like, and that's what I use. And you can also, again, find it on Amazon, but I don't know, Amazon, it seems like, you get different sellers and sometimes you don't get a good deal. So when you're shopping at Amazon, do your homework because they just have a lot of independent owners. And yes, Emmy, you came in too late because I just showed everybody how to cut this on the Joy. I'm so excited. So I showed them how to cut this on the Joy, and almost all of the files from this particular grouping of files, which is called Easter box cards, sorry, not spring. Easter box cards can be cut on the Joy with one modification, and I figured it out yesterday, and I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get online and tell everybody about this. And so I figured I'd take this morning to show you that, and how to, it's just a matter of uploading a different portion of the file. And so we're getting near towards the end of this particular file. And I'm not going to say, Emmy, that all files that you buy from other designers are going to work on the Joy, because I haven't proven that yet, and I don't ever tell you stuff that's not true, and that I haven't tried myself. So I have to try them. But just thinking forward on some of my designer friends like Lori Whitlock and Leo from Dreaming Tree and Mary from SVG Cuts, Mary has an extra file, an extra folder in the SVGs. And that's what I found out to be the workaround for doing these with the Joy. So now that I've figured that out, I'm going back and looking at all of the files that I purchased from Mary. Now, some of the bigger ones, they won't work. Like, for instance, her Eiffel Tower or her giant house structures, they're just not going to work on the Joy. And if you're the kind of person that wants, and here's a good a reason to consider what machine you want, because a Joy is smaller. It has a maximum width of 4 1/4. Let me see there, so you can see it. So it has the maximum width of 4 1/4. Yes, it has the length. You can get 12 inches. It's perfect. The Joy is perfect for vinyl cutouts that are longer than 12 inches. Perfect for that. And then of course they have the card mat, which we do those really fun matte cards we've done, or the insert cards as they're called. So it's great for that, but it's not going to work for those really, really big files that some of the designers create. Lori Whitlock's files probably would work. I got to check to see if she not all of her files, but some of hers, because she does mostly small cards. So there is the Easter egg card-in box card from SVG Cuts, Easter box cards, and the other ones that are in this file. Let me get them. There's 5 total. She usually puts 5 things in her kits. And they're reasonably priced. They're usually under $10, and you get 5 projects. I mean, for under $10, it's pretty awesome. So you get this bunny, which I'm seeing. I did this one last year, and I'm seeing the glue. See, I didn't use my art glitter glue. The glue is kind of coming off. So here's the bunny. Here's the chick. She always does little sections you can write on, and I wrote happy. I suppose you could stamp on there. There's this egg one, which you can embellish all you want with rhinestones or whatever. They have cute little embellishments, and there's a little writing place in the back. So cute. This part here was print and cut, which the Joy does not do, but you can do a stamp. That's fine. And then this one here, which is called Easter Morning, and I love this one. Now, the thing about this one is that you're going to have to make it slightly smaller. It's just over that 4 1/4. Okay. And what I did here was I put little like dots here for the lilies, and then I also embossed the white to give it some, like, I don't know, relief or whatever you call that, like a bias, or what, I don't know what you call that, bias relief. I don't know what that's called. All my art majors can tell me. And actually, one time I did this, and I put the Lord's Prayer on the back here, which I wrote with a pen, and just so beautiful. I gave it to my aunt, who was in the hospital at the time, and she just loved it. It was perfect. So it's not just for Easter. Okay. Did you know any website that has free cards like that to send out to friends? So Julie's asking, do I know any cards to share them out? Free. I would check, Julie. I would check. First of all, SVG Cuts has quite a few free files. Almost all of the designers have sort of some free files, but the one that comes to mind first is Dreaming Tree, which you can find at 3D SVG. They have a lot, seriously, a lot of free files. And most of them, I think, I haven't checked it out, but most of them can be cut on the Joy. So, and they obviously, because of their name, 3D SVG, they do have a lot of 3D files. And they do have some files like this that are box cards, but I'm not sure if they're free. I don't know if I just said free a second time, but I'm not sure if they're free, but check them out. They're at 3D, SVG.com. But these ones here, these are all from Mary, SVG Cuts. And I'm going to, when I'm done with the video, I'm going to show you, I'm going to put a link in the description. These are like probably my all-time favorite box cards. I don't know, because they're so cute. So I'm so happy today because I figured out how to cut these on the Joy, because I was sitting here going, oh darn, I'm gonna have to go back. Like it's such a chore, right? But I was just like, I don't know, I just get something in my head and I'm like, I really like sitting here talking to you guys in the morning and showing you how to cut these things and showing how to put them together on the Joy. So now I'm just elated. I'm joyful that I can do them, some of them on the Joy. So that is it for today, for this morning, which is actually, today's my birthday. I'm not looking for accolades or anything. I actually almost forgot. My sister had to remind me that it was my birthday because I was like, oh, what day is today? Oh, yeah, it's my birthday. So no birthday celebrations for me. My sister sent me an adorable card through email, and that was fun. But probably no birthday cake or fancy going out to eat type of thing. But that's okay. It's a once in a lifetime thing, and I will always remember, the birthday that I celebrated the pandemic, or the birthday where I celebrated from the pandemic. Thank you everyone for the birthday wishes. And I so appreciate that. But I love that. Somebody sent me who is that? Julie. Thank you. That's so pretty. And we will, because, it's a beautiful day out. I opened some windows this morning and I let some fresh air in. It's a beautiful day. Yesterday was ridiculous. It was so windy. And it was just like the rain. It felt like somebody was standing outside with a full blast hose spraying on my windows. I mean, that's how bad it was here. And I know other people have had it worse, and I apologize for making a big deal out of it. But it was like really serious rain and wind. Happy birthday, Penny. Her birthday is this Saturday. You're an April baby. April babies are good. Anyway, it was a crappy day yesterday, really, really rainy, and I was like, oh, I don't want to do anything. And then this morning I woke up and it was all sunny and beautiful, and I thought, this is what I wanted. And so it's the perfect birthday gift for me, is to have a beautiful sunny day that we can enjoy each other's company, and I fixed that leg. Oh, good, Maria. Yeah, we'll just have fun, make crafts. This is crafting, I'm worried about folks because now we've been here for me, it's been over 30 days, because as soon as my son school was canceled, I said, that's it, we're staying in. And I have only gone out for hospital visits, and I did go out a couple of times for groceries, but now the doctor said no more. So I'm in, and so it's been 30 days, and I'm a little worried. I'm used to being home alone most of the time, but I'm a little worried about people who are not. And so if you have friends that maybe you checked in on a month ago when this all started, or a couple weeks ago, check in on them again. I'm worried about their mental health. I don't know if you remember that from when I was talking about this a month ago, is that I think at first people are going to be like, oh, good morning, Amy, are going to be like, oh, okay, I'll do this. I can do this. I'm going to clean. I'm going to cook. I'm going to bake bread and finally go through my closet and blah, blah, blah. And then they run out of steam after a couple of weeks. And then, sometimes that depression or anxiety will kick in, and we just don't want that. So if you have one of those days, while while you're doing this stay-at-home thing, don't be tempted to, like, yeah, okay, go for a walk, but not a walk in Home Depot, or don't just say, well, that's it, I'm going to the store or whatever, because most of the stores are closed now, so it doesn't really matter. But maybe get your walking shoes on and take a little walk around the block with your dog, or just get out, get some fresh air, maybe work in the garden or something. But also check in on those people that maybe you haven't heard from. Is there a few that I have to do that too? Later on today, I'm going to check in on some of them because they're either home alone and some people are perfect for this. They don't have a problem. Maybe they have a little downtime here or there. But most people, Maria says she makes cards for friends and people at her husband's job, and they love it. It made their day. That's the kind of thing we have to be worried about and concerned about is, I don't know. I see these essential workers, like when I was going to the grocery store, and they have no protection, and I make sure I look them straight in the eye when I am able to go out, and I just tell them thank you, and is there something I can do for you? Because honestly, these owners of these businesses should be taking care of them. We had a worker here in Salem, next door to us, who died, a grocery store worker, a beautiful Guatemalan woman, and she died from the coronavirus, and she was always somebody you'd see with a big smile behind the deli counter or at the checkout. And it hit me that we need to take care of these people. We need to thank them and appreciate them and take care of them, and whether that means a little bit of extra thank you or a card or a smile or pizza or something like that, they need to be taken care of. That's the most important thing. These people, and I know our health workers are doing amazing things, but it's the people you don't often think about, the janitors, the housekeeping people, all of those people. They really need to be appreciated all the time, but especially now when they are putting their lives on the line and they're making like $8 an hour, sometimes less. I mean, it really does open your eyes to some of the inequality. But anyway, okay, sorry. My point was just, let's check on those people that we have maybe not have heard about or heard from, because mental health is going to be a growing issue in our current situation. It just is. So thanks so much for coming today, everyone. So glad to have you. I'm so excited I found this out, and now I'm going to go back to my desk and look at all my files and see which ones I can make on the Joy, and then I'll bring them back to you to show you them, and maybe discuss a little bit more about how to convert files from your Explorer Maker using Design Space to the Joy. So thanks so much for coming today. I'm so glad to see you all. Thank you, and I hope you make it a fabulous day. Enjoy the sunshine if you have it, and just, thank God for everything, right? Please stay safe. Please still keep doing all the stuff that you need to do to keep safe and yep, back to work, Charlene. Psst, we didn't tell anybody, Charlene. All right, I love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.